Okay, this is the first Zoom session for MELS 603, our group. I think Jake's going to start off reviewing Annie Evans' paper.
All right. I think I shared the screen so you can see.
Yep.
So, Tammy, I thought your artifact was in great detail. So, at first I reviewed Kim's and I messed up with that, but so I did three.
Okay.
So yeah, then once I got to yours, I pulled yours up and opened it up, and I said, "Wow, this is a whole lot of detail." You had a lot of external sources this is what I highlighted here in blue. The blue stuff's what I really thought was great. A lot of external sources that helped with your artifact and helped it kind of pull everything together. Let's see, you provided examples, which included like fall festivals. And this is for the addressing the further needs part of the rubric. So I thought you hit on all the different parts of the rubric, but for this one part, I thought you did really well with talking about how you would take further steps to move along your artifact. And just one suggestion, since you have so much detail, what I try to do and what my clinical coach told me to do is to add subheadings and like just so it helps with the organization, because you had all those charts and all the different just sources and information that I thought needed to be in there. It just would help with the organization if you had those subheadings.
After I read your review, I think the other one said the same thing. I actually went back and did the subheadings and stuff. That was a great idea.
Right. Well, what I normally try to do is just, and this is not what I didn't think of this myself. My clinical coach told me when the reviewers review your work, they literally look for the headings that are on the rubric and see if you have those headings laid out. So you had all the rubric requirements. It's just if you label them from the rubric, then it makes it so easy for the reviewers just say, all right, she's got that, and check the box. So that's what I thought. I mean, I thought you did really well with your information. Maybe condense some of it, and add those subheadings. But other than that, I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
Nope.
So now do you want me to go ahead with Tammy's?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I kind of said the same thing. You were saying you remember that. Somebody else had said that. I thought the research was very thorough. It related to why there's a need for stakeholder involvement. Your goals did seem to be tied into that research. And so I felt like all that was very effective and met the rubric well. Your human and fiscal resources were identified, which was a part of this rubric. The only thing I said about that part under the rubric requirements is that they were there, but sometimes it was a little bit difficult to see exactly where you had them laid out, and that was because of the lack of headings or subheadings, and he already addressed that. But I feel like that would help really make it obvious for the reader where you were actually addressing those components. And so and you already said you worked on that. And then I kind of said the same thing in the organization part, that some of the tables also had figure numbers, but they weren't labeled what the table was really displaying. And so then that kind of left me trying to figure out what it was I was supposed to get from the table. So maybe if you could label what that table, is all about or what it's showing, that would be a little bit helpful, I think, to whoever ends up reading it. Okay?
Thank you.
Tammy, you got anything?
No. It was really hard, I thought, since we did skip A and B back, I think, in the first semester, and then having to pick up with C. And I think I didn't know how really to connect where we did the survey on principal leadership, how that played as a part into stakeholder involvement. I had a really tough time with that. And I noticed you guys took one thing and that's what you were going to improve on. But when you think about our background, we have a great parent involvement. We offer, I mean, you could see through the thing how much stuff we actually offer, to the point where teachers were complaining there was too much. We're there to 8 or 9 o'clock.
Wow.
So when we met, we wanted to, oh yeah, we have at least 3 nights a week we're there 6 o'clock or later. So what the team wanted to do was basically look at the stuff because of the SACS report. It said that, yeah, we have a lot of parent involvement, but how does that relate back? Where's the data showing that it's improving student growth? Yeah. So what we decided to do was take all of that information and revise our parent involvement, combine them, have a bone night, 1 night a week, and not stretched all through the week, but still have the same thing. So that's what I did instead of taking one thing, because it all actually goes together as one. Then of course you got your day things, but that's why it separated the way that it did.
Yeah, I found that I had to amend it as I was going, because other things like came up, and I think we are at a disadvantage not having read each other's A and B before. But I mean, I just put in there a little line that said I'm amending my goals to add these new goals based on like the teacher working condition survey stuff also. So I added to the original goal and just put a little short blurb in there about it. But you know, I think, like you said, it's hard not knowing what our A and B was, but it is what it is. It's just how we're doing it. So anybody who wants to be next?
You.
Give it to me.
Here we go.
There you go.
Go.
All right, Scott, I'm really going to break it down for you.
Please do.
You, I thought, are y'all seeing this again? I never know if it works.
Yeah, I see it.
Let's see. You definitely had all the rubric requirements, as always. I think you helped me after I read yours to go back and like say, all right, this is where I need to add some things. But you clearly covered the section with the visual. This was clear and very organized, that part of the rubric with the further needs. And this, you and Tammy both did a great job with that. And that's what I noticed from both of your papers. I thought your organization of just the format of the paper all the way through was great. And that included, you had all those all those tables in there that I thought I have a hard time with when I'm putting those into my paper, of just keeping everything organized and on topic. All your resources that you used related to what you were trying to accomplish. The only thing, and you, I probably have told you this before, I don't know if you have to do this, but I've just been told by my clinical coach, because he's very specific of just making sure everything is easy to find. With these descriptors, it is, and you may have done this. I did
it, but I looked at yours and I understand what you're saying. You just got to put it like in the paper somewhere.
Right. So wherever you see that it's being covered, just put the descriptor. That's what I do. And I don't know if that matters or not, but to my clinical coach, he wants it like that. So, but other than that, I know you always tell me to be very, critical, but
you do mention something in there. I remember reading about including a paragraph on something.
Let's see.
That might have been me.
Was that you? Because I've read both your reviews, and I had I didn't want to be redundant, because a lot of the stuff I touched on in the introduction, and I started to write another paragraph later on, and I realized that I was writing a lot of the same stuff that I had already written about, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to do that. But
well, I mean, I thought it was good. I think sometimes you have to repeat the stuff that you're saying just to make it all flow and make it all fit.
I got you.
But yeah, I thought you did a great job.
Thanks, Jake.
Okay, and I'm going to go next because I had you as well. And I thought your research definitely supported the the SCIP, and you did include research from what we're reading right now, and I saw that for mine, and I've already started adding places in the I actually created an intro where I kind of connect all of this research to what we're doing in SCIP. The rubric requirements I felt like were met. The introduction was clear. It outlined the remainder of the paper. The only thing I suggested there was perhaps at some point, and maybe not put it in the introduction, you would have to try to, I guess, decide where you felt it would flow best, but maybe put something about your recommendations or your plans for sustaining the efforts that you take in SCIP.
Okay.
I didn't see where that was really discussed much in detail. And in the critical thinking, it was obvious that the team did, that you all did work together to critically think through and problem solve. What I did say that you could possibly add is I saw the charts, with the stakeholder who was involved in that maybe their importance to the plan, or how they're going to what expertise they bring to the team that's going to really help you kind of get at all aspects of the plan.
I got you.
Okay. And then I just said maybe explain a little bit how you led the brainstorming session. You mentioned that you guys brainstormed, but maybe if you could just flesh that out a little bit more, however you did it. And the artifact flowed. It was easy to read. And I had heard book, and maybe even my clinical coach had told me that for the tables, they actually need to be listed as figures. So that's just a formality. And so I've started listing it for all of my artifacts that I've done. I've listed figure 1, figure 2. So I don't know. I think you had it listed as table, but that might be something you want to check on so that you don't have to go back next summer. And
I think Jake does that the same way. So I'll just start. It's an easy fix.
Okay. That's all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the input. Like I said, I wanted to include another paragraph with some extra information, and I couldn't really figure out where I wanted to put it because of the flow of the paper. And when I did start writing it, it was like I was just repeating myself, it seemed like. So I don't know. That's my plan for this afternoon, is to figure that out. But I do appreciate the feedback.
Well, it was very comprehensive, and you really hit all the pieces. I don't think those minor suggestions would make or break it by any means. I still think it's proficient and fine. And of course, I'm sure if you were in 602 with Palermo, he talked about that really everything doesn't have to be accomplished.
Oh, yeah.
It just has to be proficient to get at that level. So I definitely think that regardless, your artifact was proficient. This might just be some things, if you want to tweak, you might want to consider.
That's just my type A personality.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you're smiling. You're up.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to try and share the screen like you do.
All right.
Is this it? There we go. Can you guys see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Cool. So
I can see all that red in there.
Yeah.
I like it.
For synthesis, once again, and then maybe this is just me, but I like to include some sources from what we're reading. And I was told that anytime you can relate what you're doing to what we're actually, the class, that's a good thing. So if you could find some which are easy, I put a couple references in there to our readings. If you look up fiscal and human resources in the glossary, it takes you right to those pages in the book. The rubric, condense some information if possible. I don't know if we're supposed to be calling it objectives or goals, but in the rubric it says objectives, so that's what I went with.
Okay.
And show yourself off, Jake. You're doing a great job. Tell us how you're doing a great job. Tell the reader about your leadership and what you're doing, and that's what it's about. Focus on that. when you're writing. All in all, I thought it was great. These are just a couple little nitpicky things. And Dr. Rapp had, in that first Zoom session, he really made an issue, or not an issue, but kept referring back to making sure it was succinct and direct.
Okay. Yeah, he did.
When I originally wrote the paper, I was like, oh, this is a lot extra. I'm going to cut the fluff, The quality, I think, that was your strong point for the paper. I think you always turn in, you go above and beyond with your papers. Mechanics, same as always, just little things. If you go back and proof it, you'll find it, and just minor little things. Organization, bring your fiscal and human resources to the forefront. Put a big title on that, and that's what we're supposed to be writing about. So I guess that's that should really be highlighted. Right. Descriptors. Great job. I've learned something from you on the descriptors, putting it in the paper. References, I saw a reference, but I didn't see it in the paper. So maybe go back and check into that. But all in all, man, you always do really good work. And, I like working with you, and this is our second go around. So
yeah, I appreciate it. I can always add something or tweak something after your review, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. So.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
All right. Who's up next for Jake?
I had it for Jake.
All right.
All right. Jake, I'm not going to pull mine up because I don't even know where it is on my computer, but I do have a piece of paper.
That is fine.
I thought that I thought you really did a great job. The human and physical resources, that was succinct, it was short, and it was to the point. I know that a lot of professors differ on whether or not they want short, sweet, to the point, or do they want this long, drawn-out thing.
Right.
It's sort of like what Scott was saying. At the end, I know one professor said call them references. Last semester, we were supposed to call them sources. And so, they're telling us two different things, and we don't really know what to do. I know that the descriptors, one of us wanted to put it in our papers. The other one said put it at the end. And, I've gotten by with both ways. So, we really just don't know what to do. But you did do your human and physical resources, your long-term and your short-term goals for the minors path. They were very good. You started it last year. And so you've taken the things that you did last year and revised and redid the parts that wasn't working and you could tell that you were keeping up. I guess you could call that data. You're keeping up with your data and you're making changes as needed. The one thing that I know that all of action plans are supposed to be is they're all supposed to connect back to student learning. Now, I know better behavior does increase learning, but I can't remember if I've read it. Might want to put a sentence in there only about this behavior of the minors path that we started. Our purpose is to improve our student learning. They will be more focused or something like that, but all action plans, that should be the main focus. That's what I was told.
Okay.
And
great.
Since I didn't get to see A and B, your results of I don't know if you used the teaching working condition survey, if you made up your own survey or anything like that about the climate survey, anything like that, but you did show that you understood the resources, but what kind of research? It's like what Scott said. If you look at to be proficient, it said you researched under 3, you researched the importance of physical and human resources. So what I did, I went back and searched for some research, some studies they did on how important the physical and learning and human resources were. That was the first part. Now, I don't know if that's what they were talking about or not. That was just my take on it.
Okay.
So, yours could be very well just fine. Everybody is different. And, we don't have any examples to go out. That's the worst thing. No examples to go by, to see what other people are doing, to see, because, you know, I would say, am I doing too much? Is he doing too much? Or do I think he needs more? Well, I don't know, because I don't have an example to go by.
Right.
Yours could be perfectly accomplished, and mine could suck. We just don't know.
Well, yours definitely doesn't suck.
You,
We can say that for sure.
you never believe me. I question myself every day. You guys
Don't do
rock. I
that.
can
Your
tell you.
stuff is great.
I've read some of your stuff in the past, and you guys are really, really good.
Let
I
me-
was a little hesitant when I saw what group I was in.
Well, let me just tell you what happened. So when I messed up the review and I did Kimberly's first, Scott says to me, "Well, I can do Tammy's if you want," and he had already looked at it. And he goes, "Jake, no, you need to take a look at this because it was so great. It had so many details and it was good. So don't question yourself."
So, well, thank you very much. Really, if you looked at mine, I gave you 3s and 4s, and you know, the student achievement, that was the main thing, because
Okay.
you know, anywhere you can put a sentence or two about how this relates back to student achievement, that's the main purpose of having a school to begin with, is that any plan, you need to work back to how is this going to improve the students, and
Right.
you know, whether it's behavior wise, but I'm assuming that when they talk about student achievement, they're talking about learning your core subjects, things like that. I mean, that's just my assumption. And then, like I said,
reverts back to that. Everything, even with, you know, national boards, you relate everything to student learning. I mean, that's why we're here, and that's why we're doing it. You know, so.
Look, I went through national boards about 5 years ago, and I thought it was going to kill me. I can tell you, this thing right here is killing me right now. They said, "Oh, national boards is nothing." Huh? What'd you say?
National boards teaches you a lot.
Yeah, it does. And if you haven't done the renewal, much better.
No, I haven't done it yet. Hey, Kim, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Do you go by
That's
Kim
what I heard.
or Kimberly?
Either. My parents would say Kimberly.
And then we'll call you
I'm not your
Kimberly.
parents.
But
so.
I don't care. I don't care. As long as it's something nice, I'm good.
I'm sorry about messing up your name too on the original.
No, that's okay.
I won't do that.
That's okay.
I'm going to share your review here.
Okay. And I missed that. I saw the comment about descriptors, and I usually write my descriptors when I submit to task stream.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the previous 2 classes, we didn't do the descriptors as part of our paper or at the end of it. We sort of did that once it had been peer reviewed and we knew all those pieces were in place. But I can add those from now on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to be, but I don't know. I've been in the habit of doing that. Well, for some reason yours isn't coming up right now. I'm trying to share it. Not sure what.
It popped up and then went away.
Yeah, Tammy, you want to go, and I'm gonna try and find this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kimberly,
Yes.
I thought you did an excellent job too. If you read my rubric where I reviewed you, it really goes back. I didn't know what SCIP A and B because I wasn't privy to that.
Right.
But like I said with Jake, I read it as the research we needed to tell why physical human resources, we needed to include that in our action plan. The why is it important? That's the only thing. And I think I said in the second part about the rubric successfully been unpacked. Once again, it probably should have been a 4 is what I put, but I just didn't know what you had in A and B and how it connected to C. And, you know, that was just a big drawback. I didn't know what surveys you used in B
Right.
for the leadership, and then in A. So, it probably should have been a 4. Everything else was a 4. Those references down at the bottom, I don't know if you used any references or not. I didn't see any.
I have now, because I did go back and, like I said, I started working on it just right before we got on here, and I'm going to finish it later on today. Introduction about how all of this ties into what we are doing in this portion and of it. And so I do have references now.
I think that would probably make it straightforward when you did that.
Okay.
I mean, it was very good. Every one of you guys is very good.
Thank you. Thank you. You're too kind.
Oh, this again. There we go.
No, I've read some sorry ones, believe me.
Oh, gosh.
Me too. Kim, can you see this now?
I can, yes.
Okay, cool. Once again, I apologize for the red. Apparently that bothers Jake.
No. That makes it very easy for me to fix.
Yes, it does.
I just put, just highlight and explain your external sources, which you've already talked about covering. Relate some of what you've done to the readings, that's same thing. And how it relates back to the student learning. I thought that those are easy fixes. We have 10 minutes left, so hopefully this last one, I just got like a message on the computer, so that we should have plenty of time to finish this up. I think you did an excellent job showcasing your short and long-term goals. Excellent job highlighting the fiscal and human resources. I don't know what school you are at, so that was just that's nothing like major.
That was important. I mean, that was good to say, because I guess it's because you have written A and B, you're thinking it's all going to go together. But I did go back and I fixed that in that first.
Yeah. So like my school name is like the Career Readiness Academy at Mosley Performance Learning Center. So
it's intense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Man. It has so many, names and acronyms, and everybody calls it something different. So anyway, I just make it a point in every paper I write to write that out the first time, and then I go put in parentheses Mosley.
Yeah.
I put Mosley from then on out. So anyway, make sure you highlight your leadership again. Like I told Jake, just always put yourself at the forefront, because this is about us. It's about our leadership and throughout the course. And the sustainability of the plan, same thing you were telling me. I just need to put something in there about it. The visual that enumerates and assesses need. You already had some of those charts, maybe just adding a column to it that combines all that information into one chart might help you out. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of nitpicky, but I just wanted to put that out there for you. If you want to do it, then if you don't, then don't do it. Quality of the work was great. Once again, highlight your leadership. I always try to utilize the terminology from the rubric so that the reader doesn't have to search for it. So Kim, you said you did national boards. Mm-hmm. You know exactly
I guess what I was looking at, I had sort of like a semi-sample of one my clinical coach had shared that from a while back, but I just sort of looked at some of the headings and I used those. I think maybe some of the terminology's changed a little bit on the headings, and so I need to grab the rubric and then kind of align that.
Once again, Kim, all these things are just little things. They're nothing. It's nothing major. I thought the paper was great, and I think you have everything there. It's just kind of tweaking. That's what I plan on doing this afternoon is watching football and tweaking a couple.
Yeah.
Organizationally, just the headings with the rubric, and just. I put a little in red there. I should have put that in green. The intro, leadership team, funding, that's how I would break the paper down. You don't have to, because that's up to you, but that's just kind of something that I would do. Descriptors and references, you've already addressed that. So like I said, all in all, I thought it was great. And I don't think anybody has any major fixes to do with. I think we're all doing good work and going above and beyond. So I think we're all off to a good start, and our group is pretty on top of it. From what I'm hearing, I've talked to a couple other people. So
that's good.
Good. That is good.
Yeah.
Makes everybody's job easier.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing is D&E, which Jake's already shared.
I take it day by day these days.
So
I look at what's coming up and I'm like, okay, is this homework week or is this writing a component week?
Exactly. So does anybody have anything else they want to add? If not, I'm going to stop recording.
I think we're good.
Yeah.